Hi, I'm Blake Repine, and welcome to Strategy, Leadership, and Impact. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Strategy, Leadership, and Impact, and I'm your host, Blake Repine. Again, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. The last episode actually was just under 1,000 downloads, so very happy with the progress that it's been making and how it's been picked up and the listenership and how it's been rising. So been very impressed with that, actually. Hopefully, pretty soon here, we'll go over 1,000 downloads per episode. That'd be great. But anyway, it's been a busy couple weeks lately. Been traveling for one of the board roles that I'm on, and also been doing a lot of different projects and things in my full-time role that have kept me very busy, but it's been a very productive time. A couple things coming up again on the 13th of June. I'll be speaking at the state conference for the Australian Human Resources Institute for the Northern Territory Conference. Really looking forward to that. There's a great lineup of speakers. And if you are around the Northern Territory during that time, June 13th, make sure you come along and enjoy. It's sure to be a great day. I guess on to the topic for this episode. So what I really want to talk about is something I've heard some people say lately, and it's that's not my job phrase. And when I hear things like that, it's quite interesting, the approaches sometimes or the perspective that people have around this. And some things I've heard is, well, that's not in my position description. Well, a position description, I'm having trouble talking today, a position description is just that. It's just descriptive. It's not going to be every single thing that you're going to do day to day. And if you only work to that, you're really limiting yourself. The more you do that and the more you keep saying that's not my job, that's not within my position description, eventually you just get marginalized. You just kind of get pushed over in the corner. Okay, these are the only things you're going to do. Then that's all you're going to do. And you'll never go anywhere. Also, as you grow in an organization, so a couple things to think about too if you think something's not your job. One, as you grow in an organization and you start rising toward the top, everything becomes your job. Whatever comes across your desk or whatever you encounter, that is your job. And there's no really set task. So be open to that. Realize that, if something comes your way, that is your job. Now, if it's something that you might not necessarily be able to do or might not have the resources to do, then it's up to you to go find help, or get a hold of those that do have the resources that can help you out, or potentially pass it off to someone who it would be a better fit for. And that's something else too, talking about fit for roles and things like that. There are going to be tasks that come up within the organization, and your supervisor or whoever it might be that you report to sees this task, and it might be something new because, of course, roles are always changing, companies are always evolving, and they're trying to find the best place where that task sits. So when they bring it to you, it might be something new. Take it on, hit it head on. And if you can't take it on and if you can't do it, be open and honest with your supervisor and let them know, I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z, not necessarily because you don't want to. And a couple other reasons too, and this is also the leader's responsibility to communicate this to their people. Whenever those things don't fit clearly into one area, that they're letting you know, I believe that this best sits with you. Something else, they might be giving you new or different tasks to bring you out of your comfort zone or challenge you in order to develop you. And that's something that you should be communicating to you as well. Say, look, I feel like you're capable of a lot more. I'm going to start giving you a little bit more responsibility or a little bit more authority to do certain things. So they're going to give you different tasks and things to help develop you along your career. And someone is in a very kind of, I wouldn't say directive way, if someone tells you to do something that's, your supervisor, and it's legal, ethical, and moral, then that is your job to do that, whatever it is you're told to do. Now, going back to that legal, ethical, and moral piece, if something isn't legal, ethical, and moral, you have the right to say no, that you won't do it, and explain to them, I shouldn't do this or I can't do this because it is illegal, unethical, or immoral, whatever it might be. Now, a supervisor gives you something to do and it violates one of those, and you do it anyway, and you say, well, the reason why I did it was because my boss told me to, so I had no other choice. That is not an excuse. Blind loyalty or blind discipline is not an excuse for doing something that is illegal, unethical, or immoral. So always do that. And regardless of, the dynamic within the relationship between you and your supervisor, if they ask you to do something illegal, unethical, and immoral, say no every time. Always stick to that. Again, I've mentioned this in previous podcasts. You have to be able to sleep at night. You have to be comfortable with what you did. And, if you're not going to be comfortable with that, or you feel like you shouldn't be doing that, then you need to say something. So again, going back to this, it's not my job or that's not my job. Your job will continue to evolve. Your job will change. And if it doesn't, I really question where you're at. If you sit in a role for 5 years, 10 years, whatever, and I've seen this before, and you're doing the same task every day, day in, day out, week after week, year after year, you are not developing. You are not challenging yourself. You are not getting better. You don't have 5 years or 10 years of experience. You have 1 year experience 10 times, if that makes sense. One of the only constants in a role is change. Companies change, job change, tasks change. Be willing to change in order to be successful. And if you're not willing to change in order to be successful, or if you're not willing to take those tasks outside of your position description or outside of your role just a little bit, or maybe it's just a higher level task. If you're not willing to take those on, then you're probably not willing to develop yourself. So be willing for that. Sometimes you need to go out and not say, that's not my job, but the complete opposite. Say, well, I want that higher level responsibility. I want the hard task. I want to do these things that are a challenge for me in order to develop myself. Again, going back to the weightlifting analogy, a lot of you know that I'm a weightlifting coach. You have to increase the weight little by little every day in order to get stronger. Same thing in your work life, in your jobs. You have to do tasks that bring you out of your comfort zone, that are a little bit challenging for you so you can learn. And as you learn those things and you get better at them and you move up the chain or the hierarchy within an organization, things will get easier, it'll get better, and you'll actually see that you're able to accomplish a lot more. So again, thank you very much. I hope you all have a great week, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.